Right then, we are now ready to attach our straps, and I include 1 metre 30 of this webbing tape, which I've just cut into 2 equally long pieces. So I've cut in half, and each of those will now measure 65, which I find to be quite a good length. You can go slightly shorter if you want. Now you want to position these at 10 centimetres in from the side seams. So I'm going to measure from the side seam in 10 centimetres, and then that's going to be the position of my strap there. And I'm just going to pop a clip to hold that in place. You can use pins if you're using pins. Now I don't want this strap to get twisted, so what I do is I lie that bit down flat, and then I fold it this way, and then I fold it back up on itself there. Now I know that that strap is nice and flat and how it ought to be. What you don't want is to have that situation, because then this is a twist. You want both of these to look the same. So you want both of them to have the fold going this way, and that will give you a nice straight strap. So I'm going to measure in and get myself a wonder clip, measure in 10 from there. So the strap is positioned at 10 centimetres in on both sides. And again, you can adjust that, make it slightly wider or slightly narrower if you want, but you want to make sure that you've got space in between to fit your pocket, because you're going to do that in a minute as well. Let's flip this over to the other side, and we're now going to attach the strap on the other side in exactly the same manner. And you can measure, or you can just match it up to the first one that you did. So I'm just going to match up with my first side there and put a clip there. Again, I'll make sure that that's nice and flat and no twists in my strap there, looking good. And I will just clip that in place, making sure that it's the same as the other side. There we go. Next, you want to take the pocket that you've made, and you're going to place it face down on the right side of your bag, in between the straps. So there it is, and I'm just putting it down there. And I'm just going to clip that in place, and I'm just clipping it, attaching it with the raw edges matching at the top there, and I'm just positioning it in between my straps. You'll find that these little seams that you did will want to fold in a little bit. Let's show you. So can you see how that's folded out there and that's folded in? Just keep them folded in, so that looks like that from that side, and like that from that side. That will help it sit nice and flat. It kind of wants to do that so that it's sitting flat inside the pocket. And we're going to put that face down, and I'm just going to put some wonder clips to keep that in place, and then we're going to go all the way around and just sew our straps and our pocket to our bag. And this next lot of stitching is just to keep those things in place, those elements. There we go. So I move my iron out the way, and I'm just going to stitch on across the top there and stitch on my straps on both sides as well, making sure that I'm only stitching one side. So I'll just start by stitching this one on this side, make sure it's nice and straight. And I will just do a few stitches back and forth within the seam allowance. So I'm just matching up my raw edge with my side of my foot. A few stitches back and forward, across the top there. And then I'm going to come across and do the same on the other one. Round to the other side. The sun is just shining in on me this morning, lovely autumn golden sunshine. It's really nice actually sat here by the window. Lots of daylight is always good for sewing. Right. Now with this one, I'm just going to continue all the way across because I'm going to simultaneously attach the straps and the pocket. Make sure it's tucked in there, remove my clips as I go. Holding it in place with my fingers. And that's everything attached. Back over at the ironing mat, and you see everything's been attached. I've trimmed off any thread tails there. And what I'm going to do now is just turn my bag inside out. Bring the straps out as well. Now, if I'm using a ironing mat because it's easy for me to video that way. If you've got an ironing board, then you can just tuck your bag onto the end of your ironing board. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to fold over that top edge. So we're just going to fold it over all the way around and give it a good press. We're just folding it over by 1 centimetre to begin with. And when you come to the side seams, just have a look. If you folded your gussets this way, then just make sure that those side seams are pressing in the same direction so that they're not twisted. They'll kind of want to anyway. So we're just going to come round and give it a good press. And you can measure your centimetre if you like, using your tape measure. Going to quickly go round. Nice hot iron to keep that fold in place. There you go, everything's pressed over by 1 centimetre there. Like I say, if you've got the end of your ironing board, it makes it a little bit easier to do. That one wants to sit that way. This ironing mat gets really hot. It's got some silver kind of coating on it. If you notice any little bits of thread, you can trim them off as you go, keep it nice and tidy. There you go, once I've pressed over by 1 centimetre all the way around, I'm then going to repeat the process and I'm going to press over by 2.5 centimetres, so 1 inch. And for this, good idea just to get your tape measure as well and check. There you go, 1 inch or 2.5 centimetres, and we're going to press that all the way around. It's such a lovely day today. It's Friday and half term starts today as well, autumn half term, which is nice. Right, let's have a look. Yep. Make sure that I'm not undoing my hard work that I've done pressing on the other side. Of course, if you've got your bag tucked over your ironing board, then you won't have to worry so much about that. And by folding it over by that centimetre first, you've got a nice, neat folded edge. All of your raw edges are tucked away, and the end of your pocket and the end of your straps, everything's all neatly tucked away inside. And I love this bag because everything about it is just so nicely finished, and it's a nice easy one to make as well. There you are. Once you're happy, once you've gone round and you've pressed by that centimetre and then 2.5 centimetres, then you can just, if you like, pop some pins or some clips just to keep everything in place, just because the pressing will hold everything. But you know, if you wanted to, you could also put in a few pins or clips around there just to keep it nice and flat. So I'm going to just pop some pins in, just so that it doesn't move about when I'm sewing. And I always put my pins at right angles to the line that I'm going to stitch. And then I'll take myself over to my machine, and I am just going to sew along all the way round on that end there. For the next stage, I'm going to remove my free arm, and that means I've got a nice space because I'm going to go all the way around in a circle. Gives me a little bit of space there. I'm going to start at one of my side seams. Take the pins out as I go. I'll start with a little back stitch, and then I'm just doing it by eye. I'm just going to go all the way along here. Right, now in fact I'm going to just increase my stitch length to 3, because it's any stitches that show on the outside, they just look a bit nicer if they're a bit longer. So I've increased my stitch length to 3. Just remember to do that. And I'm just going to go all the way around, and when I come to the straps, going to make sure that nothing's caught up underneath, that the straps are nice and flat and out of the way. When you come to the bit with the pocket and the other straps on the other side, just again, make sure that everything's pointing down and out of the way. And that that's nice and sitting nice and flat. And there I am back at the beginning. Okay, so I've just sewn all the way around there and just get that stitch along on the outside. So there's everything has been caught into this seam here. Trim off those threads, keep everything neat, and we're going to do one last thing and we've finished our bag. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's a very satisfying, nice, neat to make. I think I make lovely little gifts for people. Trim off those extra threads. I always keep a little dish by my side for putting all those threads in. There we are. So we're going to do one more thing. I'm going to go all the way around the top edge of the bag, and in doing so we're going to secure the straps at the top and the pocket, and this keeps it neat and it will hang better. So we're just going to fold and press the straps up, back up towards the top. And you can just put a little pin in there to hold that in place, or a wonder clip. Just pop a pin in at each point. Just pop a pin on that strap there, and one on that strap there. So I've just basically folded those up to the top and popped a pin, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And the same with the pocket as well. And what you want the pocket, in order for the bag to fold nicely into its pocket, you want the pocket to be right at the top edge of the bag, and then it just goes better. I've tried it different ways with this project, and this definitely is the best way. So I'm just pressing everything up towards the top of the bag, pressing it back up on itself. In there, keeping it nice and square. So that strap is just folding back up on itself towards the top of the bag. Same on the other strap. And the same with the pockets. It's just, you've tucked it in there and then you're folding it back on itself and then putting a couple of pins in to secure its position at the top, and it will just mean that the bag will fold into itself better. So what will happen is what you're going to do is you're going to sew all the way around the top here, and then eventually that will fold back down on itself and that will sit like that. So it'll be right at the top edge of your bag. And that does help it fold into itself more neatly. If you just left that hanging down as it was before, when you fold it in, it kind of pleats into itself at the top and you get a wobbly line at the top when the bag's folded in. So trust me, this will give you a neater end finish. So we're going to now go and do another row of stitch. We've done our row of stitching here. We're going to do another one just right at the top, all the way around the top edge. And that will secure the straps towards the top and secure the pocket towards the top as well. So with my free arm still removed, I'm going to pop my bag back under again for a second time round, and I'm just going to sew, just judging by eye, I'm just going to sew all the way around the top edge, and this time making sure that both my pocket and my straps are all folded and secured towards the top. Let's just check that that's a good position. Lovely. So just a few back stitches to start myself off, and off I go. I'm going to make sure that nothing's caught up underneath, and that when I come to my straps they are pushed up towards the top. I'm just going to take that pin out as I come towards it, because that happily held there in place. And then with the pocket as well, make sure it's sitting nicely. Lift my foot so that I'm tucking it under. If the presser foot starts to push your pocket out of the way, just make sure that your needle's down to secure and anchor your work, and then lift up your foot and then just push your pocket back underneath to make sure that it's in place. I'll take out these pins as I go. Now for this one, you can't actually see the top edge of the bag, so you're just going on faith. You can kind of feel the edge there. And if you find it easier, you could do it with the other side facing you. poaching back where I started again. And that's it, done. And there you go, you've finished all of your sewing. So you've just gone round and you've sewn all the way around that top edge there, securing the straps and your pocket towards the top. So you can turn your bag to the right side out now. Give it one final press. Use your iron, not your hands. And there's your shopping bag. Complete with its own little pocket in the side, inside there. And then when you want to fold your bag away, just pull your pocket out so that it's facing up towards the top there. Then just fold that right in on both sides, and you can fold this bit up. Pop it all inside. It's a little pocket that you made. And then this bit here that you created, your sort of flap at the top, you just fold through to the right sides. And there you have your little fold away shopping bag, complete with its keyring to attach it to your bag. And I think that looks really sweet. Lovely gift for somebody, and really useful and pretty for yourself as well. I hope you've enjoyed that sew along. Thank you for joining me today. You can get all of the supplies for making this bag at flyingbobbins.com. And if you enjoyed this video, you can like it. There's somewhere a like button that you can press. Can you tell I'm not very technical? And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, then I do new projects like this quite frequently for you to enjoy. Thank you very much for joining me on this lovely sunny autumn day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your sewing, and I'll see you very soon next time.